Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to, this is going to be a two-parter, maybe a three-parter, we'll see, but part one of my review of Buck Rogers in the 25th century. You know, I remember going to the theater to see the original movie of this back when it came out, and, you know, obviously at the time I didn't know really a whole lot about the original Buck Rogers. And, man, you know, and of course I watched the TV show when it came out, but I don't think I ever saw it, like Battlestar Galactica, I don't think I ever saw it again. So this is like the first time in, you know, really close to 50 years that I had seen this. And, you know, going into it, I was expecting it to be like really cheesy and really campy. And I was actually pleasantly surprised for more than just that reason, as I'll go into in just a moment. I've only gone through the first 12 episodes, and it was kind of funny because I didn't realize there were double-sided CDs, like, you know, like records of the old days. I know, old man card, like right there, right? But it was a lot of fun, and like watching Thundar, I got some ideas for a sci-fi campaign that I might run in the future, but it's probably going to be, you know, I thought it was going to be like a tribute to Battlestar Galactica, if I could find the right system, but it's actually probably going to be more of a tribute to Glenn A. Larson, who I realized not only, you know, was he responsible for both shows and recycled a whole lot of stuff from Galactica to this one, even some actual like footage, like scenes, snip, and edit them right into this show, but also some actors and actresses, as well as I didn't know that he did the music. This guy was, you know, quite the Renaissance man for back then, you know, and I know he went on to do less sci-fi shows later on. I think he worked on Magnum P.I. or something. I don't remember at the moment. But this was a lot of fun. Of course, it had, in my opinion, you know, one of the most beautiful women of all time. So I'm just like, you know, watching her, that being none other than Pamela Hensley. Oh, man, was she just an absolute, just, you know, obviously she was gorgeous, but she was quite the actress in this show. And, of course, you know, the first time I saw her was in Rollerball. I wanted to say Soylent Green, but she wasn't in that. She was in Rollerball, and mind you, she was, you know, playing a kind of a, I'm just going to call her a stoner, even though that's not, more of a drugged out floozy, but she was, that was, you know, the moment I first saw her, I'm like, you know, I was like 8 years old, and I was just like blown away. But there were some other really fun, surprising stars. I want to say Buster Keaton, or the guy who played Flash Gordon back in the old serials. He made a surprise appearance, and the best part was his last name was Gordon. He was like Commander Gordon or Captain Gordon or something like that in one of the episodes. I didn't write that down in my notes. You know, normally I take really extensive notes, though that's it for 12 episodes. So I'm, you know, as always, mostly winging it. But there was another actress, Anna Alicia, who went on to do, I think, Falcon's Crest or Knots Landing or something like that, and a bunch of other roles as a villainess instead of the normal character she played in Battlestar Galactica. And this show, of course, you know, we had Aaron Gray, Gil Gerard. Really sad note. Like 15 minutes after I purchased this on eBay, I learned of Gil Gerard's death, and that's one of the main reasons I'm doing this, because he was an amazing actor, at least in this particular show. And I hear he was a really nice guy, or he was really a jerk, depending on who you asked. Of course, we had, some other greats. Tim O'Connor that was in like a million things, and we had Felix Sela and Mel Blanc playing Tweaky. And I wanted to talk about Tweaky for a minute, because I remember that, back in the day, that I didn't really like the character, and that I was going to really cringe watching him, or the two actors, the physical actor and the voice actor, playing the character, but really wasn't as bad as I was expecting, and it was really kind of I'm going to say charming. I know I use that word a lot, but it was really not as bad. I think I'm going to cringe more over seeing Gary Coleman in one of the next episodes than these two guys. And it occurred to me when I was watching him that I could actually see him being an inspiration for one of our all-time favorite robot characters, that being Bender from Futurama. A lot of people probably won't see it, but I could, feel it. Yeah, I know, right? In Mel Blanc's portrayal of that character, some of the catchphrases and whatnot. Obviously, the beady, 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 that needed to go, but they needed something. But it wasn't anywhere near as cringy as I was expecting. You had H.P. Haggerty as Tiger Man, with the dumbest villain name of all time, but he was a fun character as well. We had Roddy McDowell show up, which is funny, because when I was watching probably my favorite episode, maybe not, no, clearly my favorite episode was the shotgun wedding episode that I just watched, where Princess Ardala is trying to force Buck to marry her, and I'm like, why are you resisting? I mean, Aaron Gray's a sweetie, but rule the galaxy, or hang out on Earth, that's like, I'll get into that in just a minute. But I noticed that in the Fighting 69th, Peter Grave was the guest star, but he was walking around in a Planet of the Apes gorilla vest. If you look, that's literally what he was wearing, the black leather vest. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm actually thinking about buying one of those, because it looks so sharp, to see if anybody notices. But I noticed right off. I'm like, oh my God, that is a gorilla, soldier vest from Planet of the Apes, with the lines going horizontally. But I also noticed, in addition to Peter Graves, being just one of the greatest actors of all time, or one of the stiffest actors of all time, 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. But in the background was a banner of the Fighting 69 unit's Space Marines, banner, and I'm like, I wonder, is that the origin of the Space Marines? Is that the first, documented case? Because it was 79, 78, and I know Games Workshop and those guys didn't come around for almost 5, 7, maybe even 9 years later. And I know there is a war game out there called Space Marines, but I'm gonna have to go do some checking. Maybe you guys out there in TV land can verify what came first. Was it the TV show, the game, or the other game? And of course, we had some other great characters that I haven't actually seen yet, like Jerry Orbach will make an appearance, and of course Julie Newmar, the greatest of all Catwomen, was in it. Glenn Larson, you were a lucky bastard. I don't know who did your casting, but we had some really fun actors to watch. Some really fun sci-fi. The costumes were just out of control. Some of the other scenery and things like that. Even the that was another thing in the movie. The joystick for the fighter craft is identical to the joystick from Battlestar Galactica. They just repurposed that, and that was in the movie. But then in the TV show, they added a button in the middle to cover the identicalness of that particular joystick. I thought that was, I wish they would have kept it, kept the original, not adding the extra button. But I was like, yeah, that's. I wondered how many other people noticed that. If it was just a nerd thing that I'm the only person who remembers that. But all in all, I'm really glad I got this. I'm wondering what you guys would like to see me review next after this. A lot of people have asked me to do Thundercats because I never really watched that show growing up as a kid. I might do Pirates of Darkwater because I knew Chris, one of the voice actors back in the day. But that's what I've got for you this morning. I will actually have another video for you in about 15 minutes. So stay tuned. Thanks for all the support. Love you guys. When you watch this, it's going to be New Year's Eve, and the year is almost over. So do a fellow nerd a favor and hit me up in the comments section. Tell me what you liked, what you hated, and of course what you'd like to see in the next couple of weeks or so when I'm done with this. But until then, folks, see you in the funny papers.